to pull a Kaya / TS Madison. I definitely lost my footage from the beginning of this video, but you know what? The show must go on. Here I am coming in, you guys, live from, what is this program called? Pro Tools. And yeah, I'm just gonna catch you guys up so when you do see the video, you're not completely lost. So, the title of this video is not clickbait. It is definitely correct. I did quit my job for YouTube. This is something that I thought I never would do, only because, to be like blunt, I am like a borderline control freak. I love to have stability, and like I know that I'm an artist, but just quitting everything just to do what I genuinely like to do scared me, but I took that leap of faith. Now, it all started, okay, let me just wind it back a little bit. So let me tell you guys how my job is set up. Or my old job. I'm not going to put their actual name out there. We're just gonna call them Ratchet Corp, okay? So Ratchet Corp has a system where an absence or an occurrence is the equivalent to a point. Now, if you get 6 points, you are fired. If you get 4 points, you get written up. 5 points, that's a final write-up. And then when you inch your way to that 6, you're fired, right? So, a situation had happened. Basically, my old job, Ratchet Corp, they did this thing where they would lock all of the doors except for one door, right? For the whole business. Major fire hazard, by the way. But they would only have one door open in the whole building, right? So, and they had a smoker section, and the smoker section was in the back. You could get out of the door, but you could not come in the door. So it was kind of like a company culture of putting a rock in a door so that you can come in and out, okay? This is something that a lot of people did at my job, just so that they can get in and out, because if you were late from a break, you would get penalized for it. And nobody wanted to walk around the whole building to go into the one open door to not be late for break. So I had put a rock in a door, and next thing I know, I had gotten a call to my HR office, and they had told me that I was gonna get suspended for putting this rock in the door. But mind you, I had been working at this job for like 3 years, okay? And they had only started locking these doors maybe about like, I'm gonna say like 3 or 4 months ago. And it wasn't because any like intruders or terroristic act was going on. It was purely because somebody worked a graveyard shift, and her brother would drop off her niece at the job, and she would bring her niece into the job. And then once her graveyard shift was over at 8 a.m., she would take her niece to school, right? So they were like, okay, well, we can't have anybody in here that does not work here. So then they started locking the doors. So when they had written me up and suspended me with pay because I had opened one of these doors and said that I had committed a security breach, I had felt some type of way. And they had told me that I was on a final write-up, which is the equivalent of having 5 points, if you guys remember what I said earlier. So at this point, I was just like, okay, I already don't really want to be here. This isn't like my dream job. This isn't something that I would do when I graduate from college and like deal with numbers and Excel sheets and all that BS and credit cards or whatever. So I was like, you know what? YouTube is what I really like to do, and being an artist is what I really want to do, and just being from New York and like having parents and guardians and all that shit that are from New York, like they don't really glamorize being an artist, because the majority of the artists we see are at the outside Central Station, poor as fuck, with their pieces on the sidewalk looking crazy. So this leap of faith was a big deal for me, right? And I don't know if I said this in the later clips or not, because I kind of watched the beginning of the one where it cut off, but when I was driving to work that same day where I had this realization that this might be something that I need to graduate from, basically, is I had driven onto the highway, and it was all backed up. But before I had even gotten to that highway, I was saying to myself, like, God, the universe, whatever type of being is in power, like, show me a sign that this is something that I need to just go like full force with. And then sure enough, I was late, right? And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go into depth on that, because from where I left off, I feel like all I started talking about was the rock incident, which was totally stupid. Like, there was this lady in HR who I had never even met before, like some new chick or whatever. We were like the same age, like what? So she was just like, did you put the rock in the door? And I'm like, yeah, I totally put the rock in the door. And she was just like, oh my God, thank you so much, because people always want to hoop and holler and try to argue. And I'm just like, well, what is there to argue about? Like, I'm not gonna disrespect myself and lie over a fucking rock. So I'm like, yeah, I put the rock in the door. And she was just like, oh, okay, well, we're gonna suspend you with pay. And I'm like, well, wait a second. Before you suspend me though, like, this is kind of like our work culture. Like, cause she had shown me a videotape. She had showed me a security tape of me putting the rock in the door. And I was just like, okay, well, can you fast forward that tape and see how many other people went in and out that door but made sure that they kept the rock there so that they can come in and out? She's like, oh yeah, sure, we'll totally check that out, but for now you're gonna be suspended with pay. And sure enough, she reviewed the tape. I wasn't the only person who did it, but I was still made an example out of. But there was a little sign on the door that said, please do not put a rock in this door. You will be penalized. And I just thought it would have been really nice if she could have just gave me that, you know, that little slap on the wrist, considering my seniority at the job, but whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna play the rest of this tape. I hope that caught you guys up so you're not completely confused on what is going on, because, yeah, I lost my footage, so hopefully this makes sense. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you to it. So it makes sense. Okay. More money on YouTube than I am at my job. I'm only staying at my job because I genuinely like my coworkers, but like, is that enough? Like, is that enough? Because these people obviously don't give a fuck about me. They just put me on a final warning for putting a rock in the door. So I'm like, you know what? I don't know. And I started planning. I was talking to Daniel about it. I'm like, look, I think I want to take this leap of faith because this shit isn't working. I think I want to take this leap of faith. I wrote down all my bills, saw how much I needed to make in order to live and maintain my lifestyle, and yeah, I made at least 4 times that much on YouTube. So I was like, you know what, I feel secure in this. I feel like I can do this, like, but I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna put in my 2 weeks like a responsible person and not leave them hanging, right? So I remember I had taken off one day. Okay, so at this point I had 2.5 points, right? And I wanted to put in some PTO, but they fucked up my PTO, so I didn't have enough PTO in my PTO bank to apply it to this one Sunday that I was supposed to work. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm about to leave anyway. I'm just gonna take this point. It'll be a 3.5, but I'm gonna be leaving in March 1st anyway, so fuck it. So I took a point and I didn't go into work. I called out, so now I was at 3.5, right? So I had been going to work, still getting animosity from like the higher ups at my job, and like I just felt like I was walking on eggshells because they said that final warning wouldn't drop off until like, what do they say, 90 days. And I'm like, so I'm going to be walking on eggshells in 90 days, and then points roll off every 6 months. So it's like, it's impossible. Like, it's impossible to be walking on eggshells like this. My coworkers that sat next to me, she was like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm in the same boat, because she had 4 points because she got sick. So she was like, you know what, I'm not gonna let them fire me. I'm gonna go find another job. She went and found another job, right? So boom, now it's just me, and I'm like, I'm in the same boat, but I want to do shit the right way. Now one day I was going to work, and I feel like I was asking for it. I went to work on Valentine's Day, and I was like, God, the universe, whoever's in charge, show me a sign that the decision I'm about to make is going to be a good one. So I'm driving to work. Traffic is always, you know, 9 to 5 traffic. But I got to the ramp that gets me onto the highway. That shit was backed up, like stupid backed up, and we have a 5-minute grace period because I had to clock in at 8 o'clock. So at 8:05, after 8:05, you get a point. So it's 7:57, and I'm sitting in my car. I'm nowhere near work, and I just start dying laughing because I'm like, I asked for it. Like, I asked for it, and here we are. So I pull up to and I get to where the traffic started. Some young girl got into a really bad car accident. She was okay though, because she was standing next to her car, but it was a really bad car accident. But the way that the car got hit didn't make any fucking sense. So now I'm over here feeling guilty, like, damn, like, did I put some energy out into the universe so that this girl's car gets fucked up? Like, so I'm feeling guilty now. So then I drive up to my job. It's 8:10 by the time I get to my job, so I already know I got a point. And that point would put me at 3.5. I mean 4 points, which is a write-up. And since I was already on a final, if I were to get another write-up, I'm fired. So I knew at this point I could either put in my 2 weeks and then let them fire me, so that at least I have on record that I tried to put in my 2 weeks, just in case YouTube doesn't work out and I do have to get another job. I wanted my shit to be secure, right? I was so nervous because I was like, should I just walk out the door and quit? And I'm like, no, I can't do that. I need to secure myself for the future, just in case, because you never know. So I went to HR and I told them I want to put in my 2 weeks. And they were like, oh, okay, well, you know that we have voluntary resignations in customer service right now. And I'm like, so y'all niggas, because listen, like, when I first started working for this company, and I'm not gonna say their name ever, never, when I started working, we're gonna call this company Hood Corp, okay? Hood Corporation, Hood Corp. So when I started working for Hood Corp or Ratchet Corp, they were making a lot of money. They're making a lot of money. I'm talking like we would have catering, events. We had our own basketball court. Like, we were like, we had a lot of money. We made $2.8 billion the first year that I started there. Like, we were a very well-off company. But ever since, I'm not gonna say the event, because then it would be really obvious who I worked for. But ever since a certain event happened with the celebrity that did a protest, our sales plummeted. Our sales plummeted. Everybody was boycotting. So we had overhired people, but there wasn't enough work. So they were doing voluntary resignations for people in customer service. And then that also put a red flag in my head, because I'm like, you don't even know me. I don't even know you. Like, both of the HR ladies I talked to, I'm like, I don't even know you. What happened to the old HR? Like, and that's another thing. They firing people with master's degrees in that bitch. So I already didn't feel secure. And I'm like, dude, you don't even know me. You're asking me if I'm in customer service. I haven't worked in customer service in 3 years. Like, what? So I was like, I'm not in customer service. And she was like, well, what department are you in? And I told her, and she was like, oh, well, yeah, you are gonna have to go through the 2-week process, because you don't really have anybody in your department right now, right? She looked at my name, and then she looked at me, and she was like, oh, I know you. And I'm like, how do you know me? Like, how do you know what? I don't know you. Like, and you really don't know me, because if you knew me, you would know I wasn't in customer service. So she pulls out a packet, and she was like, okay, this is the 2 weeks. You have to sign this form. It's gonna be in your termination form as well, because we just need to know this. I shit you not, I don't put my signature down on anything I don't read. So I'm reading this, and all it says is like, I cannot talk bad about the company. I cannot talk about my time during the company. I cannot share any company secrets, whatever the fuck that means. And basically, they wanted me to sign my name so that I could get sued for doing some shit on YouTube. Because sure, I'm not gonna tell y'all how their system works or none of that shit, because that's irrelevant. Like, I wouldn't do that. But because there are some things that I was involved in, or that I was a witness to, that were big cases at my job, that I know if I were to sign that paper, they would be able to open the HR handbook and take my ass to court and be like, XYZ is the same as this video. So I looked at that packet and I was like, I'm not signing this. And she was like, well, I'm looking at your record right now, and I see you're on a final write-up, and today you just got a point, which would make you at another write-up, which would make you fired. So if you'd like, you can just chill here and wait for your supervisor to actually formally give you the termination paper, but these papers will still have to be signed. And I'm just like, okay, playing dumb, like, all right. So I go back to my desk, and I'm like, I'm leaving. Like, I have to leave, because this is how I'm about to make my money now. I'm about to talk shit about y'all. I don't fucking care. I'm not gonna say your name, but I'm gonna talk my shit and collect my coin. And I'm gonna entertain the fuck out of my people. So it's like, no, I'm not gonna sign that. Sure, it may look as job abandonment, but do they really look at that when they hire you somewhere? Like, really? Like, hopefully they'll just see all of my credentials and all of the elevations that I made and everything, but will they really care about how I left? I mean, shit, if anything, I could show them my YouTube shit and just show them like, hey, I had a better opportunity. Like, I could show them my YouTube checks and be like, as you can see, I had a better opportunity. So I'm sitting at my desk, I'm like, you know what, I'm about to bounce. I'm about to bounce, like, I'm about to fucking leave. When they had written me up for the rock situation, I had already cleaned off my desk. Cause in my brain, I'm like, I'm leaving. So I cleaned off my desk already, so my desk was already pretty bare, right? And so basically, I gave away my pens to this lady at my job. What's up, girl? I'm not gonna say your name, but you know who you are because I gave you your pens back. But I got some things to say. No shade to any of y'all there, but I got some things to say at the end of this because of how some of y'all reacted when I left, as if I don't fuck with people that still work there like that. Y'all are shady as fuck, but I'm about to get on y'all asses real quick. So I gave old girl her pens back, and when it was time for my 2:30 break, I just got my purse and shit and I just left. I just fucking left. I walked out and I left, right? And I made a vlog on the same day. If you guys check out my vlog channel, I'll link it. I'll post it on my little timeline thing on this channel when it does go up. In case you guys aren't subscribed, you should totally subscribe to that channel. It's a more like personal, in-depth look of my life, because now my business, like my business is my business. So you guys can be nosy all you want and come see what the fuck I got going on in life. But yeah, so I had left, right? One of my coworkers, who's like a really close friend of mine, he's really cool with my boyfriend, like I'm really cool with his BM, like really close friend of mine, like I consider him like my brother. Like, he told me, okay, so rewind. So there's this one dude, we're gonna call him Rick. I don't fucking know. We're gonna call him Rick because he's a dick. Like, I don't care. Like, Rick is a dick for this. So I had told Rick that I was leaving. I was like, Rick, I'm gonna be leaving soon, because he was asking me why the coworker that sat next to me left, and he was like, well, how do you know that she left? And I told him because she felt confident in telling me because I am leaving as well. So he knew that I was leaving, right? Because my department was in like a little room. Rick is like, oh, Naja, where are you going? Mind you, my supervisor does not know what the fuck is going on, and he's sitting in the corner, okay? I'm trying to make a smooth getaway. Rick talking about, oh, Naja, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing, I'm going on break. And he was like, well, you smiling real hard. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, so it's like that? So you just go leave like that? And I'm like, bro, why the fuck are you making my shit hot, bruh? Why are you making my shit hot? If you watching this right now, bro, you pie as fuck. You a grown ass man. Like, why are you making my shit hot like that, bro? So now everybody looking at me as I'm walking, but some people in the room knew that I was already quitting. So, you know, they're smiling at me. They're like waving bye and, you know, like giving me the head nod and shit. So why are you tripping, bro? And you already knew I was fucking leaving. Like, why are you being so petty? Like, you acting like a whole bitch out here. So I fucking go to my car or whatever. So then my homie hits me up and he was like, yeah, bro, Rick is tripping. Like, he tripping real hard, asking everybody what's going on and did you just leave, and he's blowing up the spot, he making shit hot. And I'm like, bro, this is exactly what I did not want. And he was like, yeah, as soon as I sat down at my desk, Rick hitting me up and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, bro, that is like so fucking petty. Like, why do you give a fuck? Like, Rick is a whole like 30 something out here. Like, why are you concerned? And then the same girl that I gave my pens to, no shade, but you shouldn't have thrown no shade. I know you didn't want me talking about you in no video, but I do not respect that you did this shit. She gonna pull my friend aside talking about, you're not gonna leave here like she did you? Bitch, you don't even know what the fuck was going on. There was only 2 people that really knew my whole HR story and the conundrum that I came in. I wanted to do shit the right way, but you didn't know what was going on. So don't be over here talking about you're not gonna leave like she did she? Because you don't know what the fuck I had to do. You don't know my options. Like, ask me, hit me up. Don't be over here talking shit just because, like, bruh, I was not even gone for an hour and Rick and this girl was talking shit. That's not cool. That's not fucking cool at all. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, that is my quitting story. I will have some updates going on. I'm actually about to go out to lunch with some of my old coworkers in a few hours after I'm done editing and stuff. But yeah, there's gonna be some updates. For one, my store is on a revamp mode right now. I have closed it because I'm gonna be adding some new features. I am going to be selling commission art pieces. If you guys need a logo, I'm willing to do that. If you guys need any YouTube editing banners or intros or outros, my camera died. I told you guys it was gonna happen. But while my camera died, okay, camera focus, thanks boo. While my camera died, the HR from my job, the HR lady that I actually know and like, she had come back out of nowhere since I left, and she had hit me up basically asking me what happened because it was really out of character for me to just walk off, which it is. Like, I'm a very dedicated person when it comes to my job. Whatever my job is, I'm gonna do my best, and I'm not the type to just walk out like that. So she told me my supervisor was worried about me and just wanted to know if I was okay, and I told her, I was like, yeah, I'm fine. And she was like, okay, well, are you resigning? I told her why, with the points and the write-up on, you know, it's just not, I was gonna get fired anyway. And she told me, she was like, okay, it's fine, you don't gotta sign any paperwork, like, you could just resign. And I'm like, well, then how come these other people tried to make me sign papers and stuff? But I didn't argue. I was just like, okay, I really appreciate it. She said, good luck with your production work, because I told her I was gonna be doing production full time, and she was like, good luck with everything. And that was that. Like, and I really wish I could have spoke to her instead of these fucking no names that were in the office at the time, because I actually know her and she's a very sweet lady and she actually looks out for us. So anyway, back to the store. I am going to be having different things for sale on the shop that are mainly like commission based. If you guys need any logos for your business or anything like that, you could pay for me to draw you something up, give you a PDF file or Illustrator file of that. If you guys need help with your YouTube pages, maybe your YouTube banners, your YouTube intros, your YouTube outros, you can pay me for that. Maybe you want a custom piece of artwork for your home or for yourself, you could pay me for that. I'm also going to be getting more in depth in my clothing line. I'm going to be having more time so that I can actually sew and do that stuff for you guys. I'm also going to be doing more photo shoots with people wearing my clothing so you guys could see it on others. I'm also going to be having bigger sizes because, you know, I'm a curvy bitch myself. I know it doesn't look like I'm curvy from like here to here, but it's like I'm small. Okay, my boobs are not small, but like you see how my waist is small right here, and then it's just like a big ass like my hips are huge. My hips have always been huge, even when I was like a little skinny mini. So I do want to have multiple sizes for all of my Voodoo Tribe members so that they can all wear my stuff. And it's not just going to be t-shirts. We're going to have dresses, skirts, pants for boys, girls, whatever you identify as. You're going to have something for you. And yeah, if you guys want me to draw you a CD cover, anything, like, it's just going to be purely commission based, as well as me selling merchandises. Not merchandises, like dice. Yeah, I am going to restock the faux septum rings because a lot of you people have been asking me about that, and the little accessories here and there. So if you just do want to support me but not spend a lot of money, that's an option also. But yeah, I'm really excited, guys. I'm about to pump out a whole bunch of story times really fast because something retarded just happened. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys more. Oh, one more thing, I forgot. How did I forget this? So the same day that I quit, right? I get home to go check my YouTube because I was gonna post that day, and I get a strike. I get a community strike from YouTube. And the reason why I got this strike is because I had a video, my LSD video, it's an old video talking about my bad trip and why I'm sober today because of that bad trip. So YouTube, I tried to get it reviewed for monetization, and of course they denied it. They put the yellow dollar sign, so they said you can get some or no ad money for the video. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep it up because I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, well, if I'm not making money off of it, then you guys can enjoy it. Like, no. So I kept the video up. I did that maybe like 5 months ago. That whole process I just said, 5 months ago, right? I get home on the 14th and it's like, yeah, the LSD video does not follow our YouTube guidelines, so we're gonna give you a community strike. You will no longer be able to live stream on YouTube. And as you guys know, YouTube is where I live stream. YouTube is where I talk to you guys. So I was just like, fuck, like, what am I gonna do now? And they did offer me to appeal it, but I just knew that my video was not suitable. Like, it had the word LSD in the title. The inside of the video has like drug stuff. Like, that's before I really knew how to do YouTube, and I was just being stupid. And yeah, I'm just gonna take that L. They said that I can live stream in May, like May 15th or something like that. But for now, I will be live streaming solely on Instagram. So if you guys do follow me on Instagram, a good portion of you guys follow me on Instagram. If you're not following me, please follow me on Instagram. I'll put it right here somewhere so that when I do go live, when I do go live, you guys will be able to see. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
The truth will set you free, but first it'll piss you off.